Hi everyone, and welcome to this fairly late in the day live stream. I'm Jack from Authentic Artists and All Right, and what a weekend that was. So if you're in the UK, it's been a big weekend of sport and football, and yeah, not the outcome we were hoping for if you're supporting England. But I wanted to really talk about the reaction to that, because I think it's sometimes it's really easy to comment from the sidelines and to criticise, and we've seen a backlash of pretty horrific, utterly horrific commentary from certain quarters, and so it reminded me of what that feels like to be putting yourself forward for, on one hand, greatness and failure, and sometimes those things go together too. And so it reminded me of this quote, which I've just put on a quick slide, which I'll share with you, and I think it bears repeating. So Brené Brown has made this famous: "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails whilst daring greatly." President Theodore Roosevelt. And so Brené's considered approach to that is, if you're not in the arena daring greatly, I'm not interested in your feedback. And so that's also easy to say. And when you're feeling the brunt of the criticism, when you're feeling the weight of responsibility and carrying the expectations of a nation for 55 years of culmination of trying to go further and do better, in my opinion, that's success. And whatever the result, people dared greatly, the individuals on the pitch. And I'm no great loss to football. I'm not a football fan, but when something of that importance and gravitas happens in our world, I couldn't ignore it, and I watched the game. However, I think those guys were really brave and are heroes. And the most disappointing thing of all, which always has put me off the culture of the game, has been the inherent racism of it. And so I'm just adding my voice to those that have also condemned any form of racism, which is totally and utterly unacceptable, no matter what your expectations or demands of people. So whether it's sport or business, those of us in the arena who are trying something deserve support and respect, and not the kind of feedback they got. So I just wanted to make a statement on that, and whatever you're endeavouring to do, because this is my Monday check-in, I couldn't ignore what had gone on this weekend and what the aftermath has been, because I fundamentally believe that we are all fundamentally, at some sort of cosmic level, one organism, one consciousness. And when we hate on someone else, we are ultimately hating on ourselves. And we are not going to get to a greater level of unity and consciousness by tolerating any of that behaviour. So whether we are in sport or not, in business or not, unless you're also in the arena trying to do something, then I think it takes some self-reflection to understand, you know, observe what those reactions are in you, where they come from. Do they come from a place of love, or do they come from a place of fear, or some other wounded place? Because that's just not what we want to have more of in this world. So when we turn our attention to the week ahead, I think understand who we be, who we are, and what we bring is ultimately incredibly important to our contribution to the world. And if we can't contribute something positive and enlightening, then I think it takes some real deep inner work as to why that is. Not just don't say anything and stand in the sidelines and be silent, but also to contribute our voice to making a stand of something, a principle or a point. So somewhat somber Monday, tinged with you know, the bitterness of not just the outcome but the aftermath of it, because I just don't want to, you know, be a part of any of that. And as we saw last year in the racism riots and the George Floyd incident, to stand by and say nothing is to be complicit. And so to be anti-racist, we have to stand up and say something. And that's what I'm doing today. So I think it's time for us to all reflect on not just the result, but the rest of it that I've just spoke about, and to commit to ourselves that we will root out any of those unconscious biases or very conscious outward racism that lives amongst us, and sometimes indeed within us, and root it out and heal whatever needs to be healed, and make sure we observe those traits in others and ourselves, so that we can get rid of it. We can cut out that cancer. And I know what a difficult process that is, because I've physically battled the cancer, but I think this is far more insidious. So with that, I will wish you a really good week, a positive week, one that we can create something in which we can step into the arena and create something really important and really positive. And I will leave you with this.